This past weekend, we met with some family friends. They wanted to view an auction property up in Escondido on Sunday afternoon. They were recently married and are now ready to buy their first place. They found what they thought was a great deal on a home over by Lake Hodges, and they wanted to see it in person. You know, as we're walking around touring this open house together, the husband spoke up and he says, we're totally new to this home buying thing. Besides termites, what else should we be looking for in a home? Hey, that was a great question, and we thought it would be a great video topic too. Hey, even if you've bought and sold property before, it's always great to have a refresher, especially on how to find the right home in San Diego. So in this video, we're covering all the things that you need to think about and some things you probably haven't even thought of yet. From property condition to a home's age, plus the repairs that need to be done right now versus down the road, to utility costs and upkeep, and probably the most important item, how do you know when you find the right one, right? Lots to cover for sure, so let's get to it. Before we jump into all that need-to-know info, I think it's important to explain how we ended up meeting this couple at this particular home on Sunday afternoon. There were a few factors at play. Like most people, they would love to find a good deal, especially in this market. Well, the number one item was the property's true value versus what it was listed for and how it was actually listed for sale. Remember how I said this particular home was listed as an auction property? Like most people, you hear the word auction and you think, maybe we have a chance at a good deal here. Well, with a little research, we saw it was listed a few months back for $425,000, more than its current auction price of $1.2 million. Yep, the current starting bid was at $1,200,000. And when it was listed at $1,625,000, it didn't sell. Now, the only time anyone could see it was during this 1 hour allotted time slot on Sunday. Needless to say, the place was packed. Let's just say they priced it strategically, ideally to drum up a lot of visitor traffic and create a multiple offers situation for the seller. Actually, it reminds me of when we would find a foreclosure home listed on the same street as a traditional sale. And when we did the math, we would quickly find out that the traditional sale was actually a better buy because it didn't need to be rehabbed. Just saying, looking out for only good deals doesn't always pan out. Trigger words like auction, probate, fixer, and foreclosure do not always equal a better buy, at least compared to a nicer home that's a traditional sale. We ended up talking in the backyard about our clients' wants and needs in their new home. While we're standing out there, we must have seen 20 or more groups of people through that house. Let's see, a new listing advertised as an auction listed $425,000 less than its prior price. Yeah, you know what's gonna happen. There's gonna be competing offers. You know this property is gonna sell, and it's gonna be to the buyer who's willing to pay the highest price and provide the best terms for the seller. Guys, despite what you are hearing across the country in other markets, what's happening here in San Diego right now is that best price and terms wins. There's not enough inventory for the amount of qualified buyers out here. Well-priced property sells quickly, and it's usually at or above list price with multiple offers. Can you believe it? Okay, so back to our conversation in the yard. While we are chatting, I asked, what are they qualified for, and have you spoken to a lender yet? They explained this all happened so fast that they did not speak with a lender yet. They were checking online with the different bank quote sites, and they think they're maxed out at a 1.2 million. Whoa, we need to back up here a second. Time to have a real conversation with a direct lender. So we set them up with one that we have worked with and trusted since 1991. That way, there's no guessing on a loan program or what they need out of pocket for their down payment and their closing costs. And of course, what their monthly mortgage payment actually would be. Oh, and I almost forgot what their max purchase price actually is. See, having that conversation and getting approved means they could stop window shopping online. Now they can actually look at homes in their price range in person, ones they could write an offer on and get an accepted offer on, making it so much easier to stop dreaming and actually buy their first place. They agreed that all made sense. They really want to start being the ones to be able to host the family events and the holidays instead of always going to someone else's home. We also discussed everything they need to think about so they can find the right home for their family. Besides the wants and needs list, we discussed a property's age and how that affects the systems of the home, including items like the plumbing and the electrical, the HVAC system, and the age of the water heater, of course. We talked about termites and how nearly every home in Southern California has them. In fact, it's more of a surprise if a termite inspector doesn't find any termite activity in a property. We talked about buying a newer home versus an older home and how newer homes usually have HOA fees and the Melrose tax associated with it. We asked if they wanted something more custom or would a track home work for them. We talked about budgeting for immediate updates or repairs versus living with an outdated kitchen or flooring for a bit, if that would be okay, as long as the other boxes checked off for them. Then we talked about having a yard and the upkeep of landscaping and the cost for things like a pool and things like installing or assuming someone else's solar panels, specifically for them if they were aware that the temperature fluctuates from where they currently live in Carmel Valley to what they were considering in Escondido, and how that would be for them, and how all of that would affect their utility cost. Oh, and we covered commute times to work, how close the home was to the freeway, and the convenience of scooting around town. Basically, how that would influence where they ended up buying, comparing the commute times to where they work now. See, there's a big difference from living in Poway to Scripps Ranch to Escondido and Carmel Valley for them to commute to their jobs. And they admitted they had not been out exploring all those different areas yet. So we suggested they go tour the neighborhoods they were considering, go out and grab a bite to eat or go grocery shopping in those areas to get a feel for it. Check out the dog parks and all the hiking trails. These folks are pet people and they currently have an Australian Shepherd. So both were really important to their lifestyle. They mentioned the idea of being in a good school district. They want to start a family soon. So we gave them some suggestions about school ratings at greatschools.com. This site will help them narrow down some of their options even further. Then we even got a little bit more specific in the idea of what to look for when we visit a home. My dad said he pays attention to the home specific location on the street. Does it sit at the top of a T intersection where the lights from the cars sitting at the stop sign go right into your front windows? Or what if that car actually doesn't stop at that stop sign? Yikes! Well, I mentioned the idea of airflow and the amount of light through the home. For me, having a breeze and a good amount of natural light in a home is important. There's so many things to consider. Then we talked about what our most recent first-time buyer client said. She's closing on her condo today. And what she told us when she walked into her new home, she understood what her friends at work meant when they said that the home will just click. Dad says it's the right fit. She felt that feeling herself when she walked into her Mission Valley condo. She just knew she found the right place. The vibe, the neighborhood, the proximity to her work, the fact that she didn't have to do a thing and could just move right in and live her best life. In a way, I agree. I mean, I've never actually had to sell a house to a buyer client. They just instinctively knew in their gut it's the right place for them. We encourage our buyer clients to look at as many homes as they need. It takes care of two things for them. They know the inventory better than most realtors, especially when it comes to their specific wants and needs. And they end up having that just know feeling when they step right into the home. You know, it's kind of corny, but it's almost magical. We can see it unfold right in front of us. They get this big grin on their face and their body language changes. Hey, one time I had a client get out of the car at a property up in Valley Center. Now, I can't remember for sure. I think it was the second or the third place we had seen for the day. We drove her over this bridge in Keys Creek Valley, close to a lavender farm. Even I thought this place is awesome. It was a couple acre parcel with that creek and these huge old oak trees and a couple homes on this land. We never even got all the way through the first home or walked the full property. My client pulled me aside and he whispers out of the owner's ear range, "Cancel all the other showings for today. I love this place. I found my family's retreat, my forever retirement home." It gives me goosebumps just retelling this story. Heck, on that transaction, we even wrote in the old tractor that was parked on the property, and the owner was okay with it. I know you can see just how much we really love what we do. How fun is it to play matchmaker, connecting families with homes that they love, all the while helping folks like you create family wealth in the process. Hey, if you want to buy a home here in San Diego and you're trying to figure out how to connect all the dots for your family, reach out to us. We'd love to help you. We've been doing this a long time. We viewed thousands of homes in San Diego. Hey, we've written thousands of offers for our clients, and we've helped over 1,000 families achieve their dream of home ownership right here in San Diego. We would be absolutely thrilled to help your family as well. Don't be shy. Reach out to us so we can help you come up with your unique game plan. We can't wait to hear from you, and we'll see you on the next video.